2021 BMW M340i. So this is the replacement to my Charger Daytona. If you caught my previous video, I did mention that I'm looking to get something a little bit faster, and I think that this is a worthy replacement. It's got a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine producing 382 horsepower, and I think it was 360 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in just north of 4 seconds. I bought this car a couple of days ago. Drove it around neighborhood pretty much. So 382 versus 370, 375 comparing to the Charger, but it accelerates so much faster. A couple of things planned, not sure exactly when, but one of the first things we got to fix the exhaust sound and the look, those tips. I don't know what BMW was thinking to put on a 340 rhomboid exhaust tips versus single or dual. But anyway, again, let's hop into the car on the next day and see how she drives on a pretty regular commute route.
Good morning. The first commute in my new to me BMW M340i. I got this car a couple of days ago. Obviously I did have a chance to drive it here and there. This is the first commute, and I was looking forward to this because I leave a little bit earlier than most people, meaning the roads are going to be quite empty. And I do like the dawn. So the difference between my previous car, which if you watch the other video, my previous car was Dodge Charger Daytona RT, so 5.7 liter Hemi versus German engineering and 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged. On paper, on paper this should be a faster car, and it is. As simple as that, because of the weight. They're very similar in terms of horsepower, 370 or 375 versus 382. And but this car is a lot lighter, and let's be honest, these are German horses, and yes, there is a massive difference. Partially because Germans are not disclosing the actual figures. From what I've heard, understood, they're always underrating their cars, as in they have more than 382. If you look at their claimed 0 to 60 times, they are lower than what people achieve in real world conditions, which is what I love. I mean, if you think about it, if you buy this car because it has 382 horsepower and can do 0 to 60 in 4.5, then it turns out to have more horsepower and can do 0 to 60 in 4. It's kind of a win-win. It's what you want, right? It is night and day difference for me going into this car after the Charger. It is just such a nice drive. It's so sharp, it's so precise, it's savage, the way it pulls, the way it drives. And it happened yesterday, I believe. I was going to one of the car meets, for which hopefully you have seen a video by now, the Exotics at Sawgrass Mills Mall. And on my way there and back, I got close to the infamous figure for which you go to jail unintentionally, completely unaware. I was just driving. I glance at the speedo and I see I'm pretty much there to back off. So to that respect, you do not feel it. It just, let's go into the turnpike. It just does not feel it. It just swallows the miles. Again, comparing it to the Charger, you would expect, because Charger is a big car and it has a big V8, you would think it would probably be the other way around, but it really is not. This car is just something else, which again is why I went for this one. I test drove the Mustang GT, the S650, and I test drove this one, and again, the precise nature of this vehicle, the sharpness in the steering, and the performance, it is just completely different level. And I'm gonna say this, and I think I know how most of you will react. I know the way my wife reacted. Well, actually, let me say this. So the biggest reason why I was contemplating to going to this vehicle after the Charger, instead of staying with the Charger, instead of going to the Mustang, was it's missing 2 cylinders. And my history with the V8s was short. I had 2 V8s before this one, and I was saying that I'm addicted. I cannot drive if it doesn't have a V8. And then when I drove this one, I was blown away by its performance and how quick it is. Not fast, quick, because any car can go fast. I don't want to go fast, I want to go quick. So, but I thought, yeah, okay, there is that performance, but I am gonna miss the V8, the sound, the rumble, the drama, the theater. Sorry to say it, and I'm guessing maybe some of you started watching this because you're into V8s, but don't knock it till you try it, guys. I don't miss a V8. There, I said it. When I say I don't miss a V8, I don't mean I don't miss a V8. Like, I would love for this to have that sound, but what I mean by that is, if the trade-off is you lose the sound, the drama, the theater, but you gain performance, I'll take performance any day of the week. So to that respect, I kind of don't even notice the lack of V8 because I am so engrossed into what this car can do. And then another thing that I find very interesting is, so both Challenger and Charger a lot more than Charger, were losing traction like nobody's business. Like, it was so often. Challenger was dangerous for me, and I did see a few crashes online, and I understand why. Charger was a little bit better, but it was very rare in either of the cars that I pressed the gas pedal all the way down, because it couldn't put the power down, and there was absolutely no point. It happened a few times that I did when there was nobody around in case my tail goes, but you just cannot use that power. And then when you get up to it, when you're already rolling, then you can go all the way down. But like off the line, it's, and this is where this one takes the cake. You can use all the power, and it does happen that you lose the traction, because it did, and not even a week that I've had this car. However, it's manageable. Like, the car is, probably the best way to explain it is, when you're in a Charger or a Challenger and it loses traction and your tail gives, you feel like you are in a passenger seat and the car is doing its thing. Whereas here, you feel like you are the one in control, so you can dose how much slip you want to have. You can say, give me more or I'll back off. Whereas Challenger just goes. sharper car, faster car, quicker car. I'm in love. And again, I am biased. I was biased. I owned, back home before we moved here, I owned 4 BMWs. And then when I came here, or when we came here, it was right after COVID, so the prices were ridiculous. And I had to go for the Challenger. I did a factory order so I can get MSRP, which is what I got. Now this, you're probably noticing there is no big screen. This is the pre-facelift, and that was intentional. I do not like the new one. I do not like with the facelift. They smoothed out the headlights. Doesn't have that kink at the bottom. They smoothed out the grille, smoothed out, made the grille smoother. So the grille lost its edges. And then inside they slapped that stupid screen now, which I have a feeling that people that are designing and that are in charge of these things have absolutely nothing to do with cars. I have a feeling that they all came from a cell phone background or a smartphone background. It's not functional. I want this. I want the cocoon. Doesn't matter if it's a single, but it has to have a cocoon. And I know they amp up the brightness so you don't get the glare, but it looks like an afterthought. This looks like a part of the vehicle. This is like, I'm a driver. This is my little area here. Nobody else gets to sit here when I'm in the car. This is for me. My passenger cannot see it. This is mine, and I like that cockpit feel, which BMW was famous for from the 80s. The angling of the dash and all of that. It lost it a little bit, but you still have this. And I love this. I love this. I don't need a big screen. And then another thing is the AC controls are touchscreen. No. I'm sorry, like I'm driving now, my eyes are on the road, I can feel this. And I can say, yeah, I'll press this button, or yeah, I'll turn this knob. Cannot do that with a touchscreen, not while you're driving. That's literally like, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos and reviews of cars and from different people. I am yet to hear a person that says, oh yeah, it has a touchscreen. Yes, I don't have to fiddle with the buttons. No, nobody ever said that. And I've also seen some manufacturers saying, oh, we've listened to the community, we've listened to the people's feedback, we're bringing back the buttons. Because again, like, why would you have touchscreen to that extent? Like, and again, I can do this and I can do this. Do what you want, but don't tell me no, you cannot push a button. A little bit of a rant early in the morning. Yeah, I get easy going with these kinds of things. So overall, I could not be happier. I'm thrilled. I love the fact that I got this car. And again, the new one was out of the question because the facelift ruined its edge for me. I don't like the rear. I don't like the front. I don't like the interior. The whole one, single screen. So I was after 21, 22, and I got a 21. And yeah, the car is amazing. Absolutely love it.